Hey folks, Liv here once again. I know it's been almost probably a week now since you see me. Sorry about that. I got a new job with FedEx. Well, yes, you can say it's seasonal just for now, or kind of just for the time being. I won't be staying there too long because it's a bit of a faraway drive. But I've just been busy because it was Christmas time. It was seasonal. It was very busy, so I was pretty much working every day. So I didn't have time to do videos. I had to be there like really early in the morning. Like I hope y'all like my Deadpool Wolverine shirt. I had to be there like 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 something in the morning sometimes. So, but it's very early hours in the morning, very early. They let me go home yesterday and actually today. So, and I'm getting tomorrow off. So, and I'm trying to apply for a new job, which hopefully I'll be a restaurant job, which I'll hopefully be getting soon. I'm hoping. Yeah. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed my reviews of Planet Hulk and Justice League Rise on Tours. Again, I am on the. Oh, first of all, let me just say, I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas with your family. I know I had fun on Christmas. Got some good gifts, got some good stuff, got some gift cards, and although we might have some new movies soon, so you might see a pickups video here, like a pickups. Probably haven't done pickups since pickups 2, I think. So it'll probably be pickups 3 on my new channel here. And by the way, the mass profile picture, guys. That's thank you for the 138 subs, guys. Keep on subscribing. I appreciate that a lot. And hopefully this week, this well, I would say, or is it Wednesday, 12 a.m., January 1st, I will be doing a Happy New Year video. So since we will be in the new year in 2025, and I'm so done over this year, 2024. Yeah, my grandma passed away this year. This year's been all right so far, but I definitely look forward to the year of 2025 for new things to, which look forward to what's happening for me. And I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and you had a good time with your family. But anyway, like I said, I've been doing a superhero marathon on my YouTube channel. I've been on the 2010s era of superhero reviews. That's what I call it. That is superhero movies that came out in the year 2010 to 2019, the 2010s decade. And I'm still in the year 2002. I've only reviewed two movies. Like I said, I reviewed Planet Hulk and Justice League Crisis on Two Earths. So I'm sorry I've been taking a while, y'all. I really have. I miss being on YouTube. Here on YouTube, guys. I'm glad to be back. Um, yeah. I'm not going anywhere, guys. Don't worry. As long as you know that, I'm not going anywhere. But yeah, and this is going to be a rant because I didn't care about this movie. This movie stars Aaron Taylor Johnson. Well, they credit him as Aaron Johnson, but whatever. And it's directed by Matthew Vaughn and Christopher Mintz plays in it. Mark Strong, Chloe Grace, and Nicolas Cage. And that is the 2010 superhero black comedy film Kick Ass. Which honestly, I was not a fan of this movie. I did not care for this film. This just wasn't for me. Yeah, it was rated R, but still, the rated R movie didn't work out. You know, Deadpool and Wolverine works out because number one, I like the characters. I like the two leads here. I like them both. Both played are great by great actors. Yeah, the Punisher films, 1989 film. I'm talking about just Dolph Lundgren and Thomas Jane one. Yeah, fuck the Ray Stevenson one. I hate Punisher Warzone. Screw that movie. I hate that film. All right, and the Deadpool movies, Deadpool 1 and 2, and new one, Deadpool Wolverine. I'm sure are much better rated R movies than this. Yeah, but anyway, Kick Ass. Yeah, I've seen this movie once on TV. It was called Spike TV. That's when I first time watched it, and I couldn't get into it. And honestly, this just was not for me. Couldn't get into it mainly because of the main lead. But before I get into that, let's get into the history. This is from a screenplay. It's written by Jane Goldman and Matthew Vaughn as well. I did the script for this movie. It is based on the Marvel comic book of the same name. So I guess he's a oh okay. So I guess Kick Ass is Marvel. I did not know that. Did not know nothing about this character. But for the production, though, the rights to a film version of the first volume of the comic book series were sold before the first issue was published. It's developed at Pearl. The film writers took a different story direction to reach many of the same conclusions. Comic book writer Mark Miller acknowledges the differences, explaining that a comic usually has eight acts, while a film has three art structures. Mark Miller. I mean, so okay, anyway, Miller intentionally considered having American Jesus adapted and communicated to Matthew Vaughn about the concept, but Vaughn switched to Kick-Ass after Miller mentioned it and sent some materials to Vaughn. Vaughn said that we wrote the script and the comic at the same time. It was a very sort of collaborative, organic process. I met Miller at the premiere of Stardust. We got on really well. Well, I knew who he was and what he had done, but I didn't know him. He pitched me the idea. I said, "That's great." He then read a synopsis. I went, "That's great. Let's go with it. Let's go do it now. You write the comic. I'll write the script." Jane Goldman, one of the screenwriters, said that she works with Vaughn. She does construction work, the interior designing, while Vaughn acts the architect. Miller said that the screenwriters Goldman Vaughn made a chick flick, having placed more emphasis on the character emotions, particularly having a softened the character of Katie. Miller stated that a film audience would have difficulty accepting Dave and Katie not being together, while a, com- while a comic audience would be more easily accept that idea. Frank Lawrence of Film General International said that Katie is much less Mean Girls in the film than in the comic, and that the romance between Dave and Katie proves a needed counterbalance to the otherwise sense of optimism, being stripped away by layer. Sorry. Down below, angry cynicism and headed straight down the hole to I can't say the word right, sorry. In turn, the Los Angeles Times said the romance provides the appealing backdrop the more observing aspects of the film play out against. Other changes including having Red Mist be known to be a secret antagonist from the start, as well as making him less outright villainous. DeMarco's mob intentionally thinking Kick-Ass is one assaulting their men. Martin Miller, I guess, who created the Kick-Ass comic. Yeah. In the original comic book, Big Daddy is a character that's known as an ex-cop, but has a former accountant who had been motivated to fight crime by his desire to escape from his life and by his love of comic books. In the film, a purported origin and motivations are genuine, with Martin Miller stated that the revelation that about Big Daddy's background, sorry, let me move kick the desk, would not have worked in the film adaptation and would have ruined the film movie, which I disagree with. The comics artist John Romita Jr. stated that the Big Daddy story in the film works better stopping short. You love him better in the film. The climax of the films differs significantly from the comics, but the use of the jetpack and rocket launcher Miller called is necessary as we're building so much stuff that we need some Luke Skywalker blowing up the Death Star moment. Comic writer Stephen Grant argued that the film cheated on the premise of real life superhero by having these here's fantastic events, and that is why it works. This is where much of the humor comes from. When the film finally makes the motion, we're already so deep in the magician's act that our instincts play along. One intentionally went to Sony, which distributed layer cake, but he rejected calls to tone down the violence. Other studios expressed interest about wanting to make the characters older. Particular studios wanted to change Hit Girl's character into an adult. Goldman said that while the studio executive said that it would be less offensive to portray Hit Girl as a teenager, Goldman argued that it would have been more offensive since, as a teenager, Hit Girl would have been sexualized. Goldman said that Hit Girl was not supposed to be sexualized. Bond had a little more trouble adapting to film. The film had not, as the film had no studio. The big studio adapted the success of the adaptation as a found superhero, which made intentionally, impedently financed. Vaughn believed enough in the project to raise the money himself. The Christopher Mendez who plays Ramis, said that the creators of the film were wondering whether a distributor would pick up the movie. On the set, Vaughn jokingly referred to Kick-Ass as something that was going to be the most expensive home movie ever made. On August 17th, 2009, it was announced that the film had been acquired for distribution of the United States and Canada by Lionsgate. Filming locations included Hamilton, Canada, Kingston Road, Toronto, Service and Churchill Secondary School, and Toronto locations. Yeah. Chloe Grace Moretz, Chloe Grace Moretz was 12 years old at the time filming this movie. She said, "If I ever uttered one word that I said kick is, I would be crying for years. I'd be stuck in my room until I was 20. I would never in a million years say that. I'm an average everyday girl." Moore said that while filming, she could not bring herself to say the film's title out loud in interviews, instead of calling it the film in public and kick butt at home. Christopher Mintz notes a hypocrisy that people were angry about the language, but did not seem to be offended that Hit Girl killed numerous people. Aaron Johnson confirmed that the film stays true to the adult nature of the comics, featuring a large amount of profanity and graphic language. Again, the comic is violent, so what do you expect? It is based on a comic that is dark. Okay, Kick-Ass apparently had a video game, beat 'em up game. Looks like some of those graphics don't hold up. Well, let's see on what platform it's on PlayStation. Okay, I guess on just iOS, PlayStation 3. the gameplay of Kick-Ass. I guess you play as Kick-Ass, Hey Girl, Be Daddy, and single player cop mode weapon upgrades. I guess fighting bad guys. I never knew this movie had a video game. I didn't know that. And of course, you had two sequels like Kick-Ass 2, which came out in 2013. Was it 2013? That also starred yeah, that also starred Jim Carrey was in that. Yeah. And Stone does School Fight is an upcoming film. It's a new movie coming out, I guess, next year. And for the cast, the movie of Aaron Johnson is Dave Lewinsky, Kick-Ass. Uh, These are the list of her films. Well, you say Adventures Age of Ultron. He was Quicksilver. He died in that movie. He's a supporting character in that movie. He was alright. And in this movie, he sucks. He was in Godzilla 2014. He sucked in that. And I believe he was also in a new superhero movie that came out this year, Kraven the Hunter, which, yeah, from what I heard, that movie sucked. Yeah, that was a Sony, part of the Sony Spider-Man universe. And yeah, it seems like that movie flopped really bad. So, yeah. So I'm sure Kraven the Hunter will be just as bad. He looks more like a model now instead of an actor. Yeah. And like I said, he was in Godzilla. He had a credit cameo though in Winter Soldier, just a small cameo, and he was in Kick-Ass 2 during as the character Dave. You know, now he just looks like a supermodel instead of an actor who can't act. Christopher Mintz plays as Chris D'Amico. People should know him movies like Role Models, Superbad, and he was in the 2011 remake of Fright Night, which I heard was terrible. I heard that movie wasn't very good. He did a voice from Marmaduke. He was in movie 43, which I heard was terrible. This is the End. Trolls and Trolls Band Together, or Trolls World Tour. Never seen any of those movies. Chloe Grace Moretz as Minnie McGurk. Hey girl, I'm not a big fan of her, but I know she was in the Carrie 2013 remake, which sucked. The Equalizer with Denzel Washington, which honestly I'm not a fan of that movie. That's just me. And of course she was Wednesday Adams, the Adams Family 2019 CGI animated film, and the sequel Adams Family 2, which are decent movies. You know. And then you have Mark Strong as Frank DeMarco, who's the main villain of the movie. He's the mafia boss in New York. Like other villains, well, he was the villain in Sherlock Holmes with the yeah, and he yeah. Let's see, anything in the '90s? Nope, only ever seen him in the movies in the '90s. But 2009, yeah, like I said, he was Lord Henry Blackwood. He was the villain in that movie in Sherlock Holmes, and of course he was another comic book superhero movie, Green Lantern, with Ryan Reynolds, which he plays Sinestro in that, and I actually like him in that movie. And if you want to call it, I guess Kingsman is probably based on a comic book. I don't know, but Kingsman Secret Service and Kingsman, the Golden Circle. He was in that, but he's a good actor. It was also in had a small cameo and of course Shazam 2019. He played villain in that as well. He was Thaddeus Saban, and he had a cameo in Shazam: Fury of the Gods. So he's done the comic book films before. After this, and Nicolas Cage is Damian McGrady, Big Daddy, and as cop turned vigilante seeking payback against Frank for throwing his family. Nicolas Cage, if you want to say superhero, Nicolas Cage should be over the top and silly, but here he's just there will be spoilers in this review, but go with Superman. He was a Ghost Rider, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider for Marvel. That came out in 2007, and of course, uh, kind of a bit of a year later, he would after this movie he would go back to respire his role as Johnny Blaze in Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance. So, and of course, I think he voiced. Sorry. Okay, yeah, he voiced Spider-Man Norm, like in Spider-Man to the Spider-Verse. Does he return in Spider? I don't think so. Yeah, he has a cameo as Kal-El Superman in the Flash, the Superman movie, because he was supposed to be Superman, but during Tim Burton, but that movie never came to be, never got released. Lindsay Froski as Katie, a beautiful actress though. Can't say I've seen her in anything. No. Of course, she's in the sequel as well. Clark Duke as Marty Einsberg. This series is Two and a Half Men. Oh yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine. Hot Tub Time Machine, the first one. I guess in the sequels, but he was good in those movies. He did a voice for the Cruds. Evan Peters is Todd Haynes. Evan Peters, let's see. Just like Aaron Taylor Johnson, he was Quicksilver for Marvel, but oh, when he was in Never Back Down, yeah, I like that movie. And Never Back Down 2, which I've never seen. Oh yeah, he was Peter Maxoff, Quicksilver, in X-Men Days of Future Past, and I believe Apocalypse, and Deadpool 2, and Dark Phoenix. Yeah, yeah. Sophia Wu as Erica Chu, Katie's friend. Elmer Hardwick as Sergeant Maurice Williams. Michael Rusfield as Big Joe. Let's see, that kind of looks familiar. He was in an episode of The Sopranos. Let's see. And Dexter Fletcher as Cody. Jason Fleming is in this movie as the Lobby Goon. Jason Fleming, he was Jason Fleming. He was in the Jungle Book, the 1994 Jungle Book, which turned 30 on Christmas Day by this year. As his first movie, he was the Lieutenant John Wilkins that gets his character gets killed off by Shere Khan in that movie. Superhero movie you can count League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which I think is better than this movie, but that's just my opinion. He was in Deep Rising. I think he was also in Seed of Chucky, but a good actor in my opinion. Yeah. And he was in Clash of Titans remake. Yeah, I don't blame him for that. That film's terrible. That came out the same year as this, and that film sucks as well. Corey Johnson as Sporty Goon. He was in Captain Phillips, Kingsman Secret Service. Oh, he played an agent in Hellboy, the first Hellboy movie in 2004. Adrian Martinez as Ginger Goon. He was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Says Brenda Bainoff, Tim Blister, Garrett Brown, Elizabeth Montgomery, Yancy Butler. I can only think of Hard Target. I believe she was in Hard Target with Van Damme. Yeah, they're playing Natasha. Yeah, a lot better badass movie than this, in my opinion. And she was in Late Plasket sequels, like Late Plasket 3. I don't like those movies, but I liked her in those movies. Her character was awesome in those. Yeah, but I just basically remember her from Hard Target. Yeah, and Greg Ferguson as himself. And it is directed by Matthew Vaughn and also written by him. Matthew Vaughn made films that Larry Cake Stardust. Oh yeah, he directed X Men First Class. Yeah, no wonder why. Yeah, don't really remember that much of that movie. Well, he also was a producer on X Men Days of Future Past. He directed Kingsman: The Secret Service, Kingsman: Ghost Rider, which are, in my opinion, a lot better rated R movies. They're rated R, but they're better than this. Yeah, in my opinion. Jane Goldman wrote the script as well. Fisher wrote the script for Kingsman: Secret Service and X Men First Class, and on the story for X Men Days of Future Past, based on Kick-Ass by Mark Miller. He's done creative work like with the Avengers, so I guess he's yeah. John Romero Jr. It's produced by Matthew Vaughn, Brad Pitt. Oh, Brad Pitt produced this movie? Oh, okay. Chris Thigger, Adam Bowling, Tim Bake, David Reed. I was surprised to see Brad Pitt's name in the credits. Cinematography is by Ben Davis. He's done cinematography for other superhero movies too, like Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, Avengers: Age of Ultron, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, The Eternal, some of the MCU movies. Dumbo remake, and of course Craven the Hunter. So he worked, yeah. Edited by Pritchard Skillet, John Harris, Eddie Hamilton. He's edited films like JFK, Jackpot, G.I. Jane, Good Will Hunting, Prometheus, The Amazing Spider-Man 2. John Harris has worked edited movies like Claire Kate, The Descendant, 127 Hours, The Woman in Black, T2, Training Spotting Day, or Train Spotting, whatever. And Eddie Hamilton. He's collaborated with Tom Cruise on some movies like mm, I guess My First Class, Kick-Ass 2. He edited that, Case from Secret Service, Mission Impossible: Rogue Nation, and Fallout, and Top Gun: Maverick, and of course Dead Reckoning Part 1 and The Final Reckoning. So he's editing the final Mission Impossible movie. So yeah, music is by John Murphy, Henry Jackman, plus cheese. You have a lot of editor and people and composers on this movie. John Murray, though. Let's see. Done some music for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and The Suicide Squad. I'm talking about the sequel that came out in 2021, not the first movie in 2016. But Henry Jackman, let's see. No, I've heard that name before. Music for Kong Skull Island. He worked with Matthew Vaughn. He did music for X-Men First Class, Puss in Boots. I think the first movie, Monsters vs. Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 1 and 2, Wreck-It Ralph, Big Hero 6, another superhero movie. It's Disney, but I would say it's a superhero film. And Eli, I can't say the damn name right. Such companies Mark Films, Plan B Entertainment, Lionsgate, Focus Features International. It was released April 16th, 2010, here in the United States. It's 118 minutes long. The budget was $28 million, but it made $96.2 million worth. So it was successful at the box office, but I wouldn't call it a huge hit. A huge hit like I would say Iron Man 2 was a lot better when it came out the next. Yeah, Iron Man 2 came out in May, so it was the month after this movie, and that probably made more money than this. Yeah, because I saw that in theaters. I think I remember that having a bigger audience than this probably. Yeah. But for the plot synopsis of this movie, the film's 1 hour 57 minutes, nearly 2 hours long. It didn't need to be 2 hours long, but basically, what the plot of the story is that using his love for comics as an inspiration, teenager Dave Lewinsky, played by Aaron Johnson, decides to reinvent himself as a superhero despite a complete lack of special powers. He dons a costume. He does a costume like this, spandex costume with the green mask, calling himself Kick-Ass, and gets to work fighting crime. He joins forces with the father-daughter vigilante team of Big Daddy and Hit Girl, then befriends another fledgling crime fighter called Brad Miss, but a scheming mobster who basically wants to get revenge on Big Daddy because Big Daddy and Hit Girl are messing with his business. And his son, by the way, is the Red Mist. Spoiler alert! I'm just gonna spoil it. I don't care. But if you've never seen this movie, I will say spoilers and description down below. So if you haven't seen Kick-Ass, don't watch this review. And the student puts their alliance to the test, and basically they have to. But Big Daddy has his reasons. His quest is to bring down the crime boss Frank DeMarco and his son Remis. They trained his 11-year-old daughter to be the ruthless vigilante Hit Girl, and they have to stop him, and get their revenge along with Dave as Kick-Ass helping them out to take down the big crime boss played by Mark Strong. And yeah, that's the movie in a nutshell for you. But I'm gonna talk about the movie itself and give my final opinion on this film. And again, I'm not a fan of this movie. It's cool if you are, but I did not like this movie. I did not care for it. There's some things I do like, I'll admit, but still, it should have been a much better movie. I don't care if this character is a comic book character. He's just not interesting to me. He could have been played by a better actor if he would have had a better director and writer for this movie. The writers for this film, it would have been a lot better. In my opinion, Matthew Vaughn was not the right guy to make this movie. But anyway, you have Dave Lewinsky, Dave Aaron Johnson. He's an average teenager talking about, he narrates the story as well, talking about wanting to be a superhero. You see this guy in the beginning, like on top of a 40, 50 stories building, jumping down and gets killed. He's like, no, that's not me. But he wants to be a superhero. He has a crush on his teacher. He's not, he's a girl. He's a very nerd. He's just a freaking loser. Yeah, a nerd. He likes this girl, and she like says, "Hey, gorgeous." He's like, "Hey," but he's like, "Oh, you're talking to a friend." Oh, I didn't think you were talking like. And somewhat throughout the movie, she starts thinking that he's gay because of that. Yeah, but he talks to his friends about why was nobody trying to be a superhero because they'd be crazy and they would get their ass kicked and they'd probably die. Duh. And then you have yeah, Christopher Mick plays his character comes in. He's like a rich kid coming to see the comic book comics and he wants to, Aaron Johnson wants to go, Dave wants to go talk to him. Yeah, invite your husband to fuck off, literally. And he's like, and they get mugged. Some guy just watches and just looks at it and do nothing about it. Takes the comic books, just pushes them, and he gets tired of that, so he buys a school suit on eBay. He buys his kick-ass suit, with a mask on it. And he's like, "Fuck, I'm just pretending to fight and stuff." Yeah. So yeah, his basically he just doesn't do nothing for a while. Crime's not right. He's trying to train himself. Tries to be like freaking Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, when he's saying, I'm back, like in Spider-Man 2. He doesn't do that, but he kind of like shot out of the door and jumped out. I don't know what he was saying. He's like, oh, I'm like, what are you doing, moron? You don't have any superpowers. You can't just jump off the building. You freaking die. Huh. Anyway, he sees the muggers that bugged him before. These guys are bullying him, get him a car, and he's like, I'm saying that to him. He's got like these two sticks, and one punches him in the face. He says mistaken. He gets stabbed. Yeah, he's a weak ass superhero. He's lame. You know, and he gets run over by a car, and the asshole in the car just takes off. So hit and run, and he basically begs. He gets in the an ambulance picks him up, takes his mask off, says, "Don't tell nobody about the costume." And he's got beaten up really bad and being run over. So he's pretending he's born naked. So you know that he was mugged. You know, he's spent for several weeks in the hospital. Is on to, Crick Haiti. Yeah, there's a girl's name. Haiti's like, well, if you need a friend, I'm here to talk to you. And she pretty much they tell him there's a rumor that they think that he's gay. You know, since he was mugged butt naked. Basically, he wasn't, but they think since he was mugged and he was naked that he was man raped or man butted. Whatever, like in prison, and they think he's gay. And so she becomes like his friend, like, we'll be friends, okay, holding his hand. He doesn't like this. But he goes along with it to spend time with her, even pretending to be gay enough to take his shirts off with her, to massages. Yeah, it's a little weird, but I didn't care about that. This relationship kind of feels forced. Didn't care about this. You have Mark Strong who plays the villain, Frank Mako, and he's the one guy who's dressed up like Batman, talking about Big Daddy. He is like Batman, but basically a hard rated R version that does kill brutally. And Head Girl, he's hitting his spots. He's all his businesses he's ruining. There's like guy just like Superman. No, it's Batman, and they kill the guy. He takes his son to the movies. Says on Monday you'll be over my business. You know, they just talk about business. And one night Dave goes back to being kick ass in a suit. Tries to find Mr. Bitey, the cat. Tries to climb up on a billboard. This guy's running from. He's being chased, and he's trying to go over the billboard, and he's like, "Fuck you, Mr. Bitey," and he falls off and trips the guy, and the guy keeps beating up. He's like, "Stay out of this, kid, thanks." He tries to beat them up, and he again gets his ass kicked. And people are like, "Yeah, that's an awesome shit." I don't know how I think he's awesome, but he gets his ass beat. His guys would say, like, "You're not gonna hurt him. You're not gonna hurt him." And it's like, "Who are you?" "I'm kick ass." I'm like, if you watch on TV, and I liked it though. You meet the characters of. I really like Nicolas Cage and Chloe Grace Moretz. Surprisingly, I did enjoy the performances in the movie. Personally, I felt like this should have been their movie instead. I think it would have been a lot better because I like it. The first time you see him, was like, "All right, honey, this is gonna hurt. A bullet can travel 700 miles per hour." He does shoot her, but she's got a bulletproof vest on. And she's like, "Well, Daddy, I want a puppy, and I want to sit." "No, Daddy, I'm just fucking with you." So he says that, and I liked it though when Nicolas Cage says, he should call himself not kick ass, but call it ass. He said, "I get my ass kicked." That's what she calls himself because he gets his ass kicked. That doesn't make no sense. Boy, actually does call Grace Moretz because he does. He's a bad. Yeah, it becomes a YouTube phenomenon. He becomes successful overnight, and he gets MySpace. And I don't think people don't even use everybody uses Facebook now, I believe, or Instagram. I don't think nobody uses MySpace. So this movie's clearly very dated. It's not ahead of its time. It's way out of its time. It hasn't even aged well either. This film. People can contact him for help. Yeah. But Katie talks about kick ass. She doesn't know Dave's kick ass, of course, and tells him that she's married by a drug dealer. He talks to her, tell her to get, she wants to have some kick ass, and he tries to go to the low life himself. I forget the guy's name. And he's like, "Leave Katie alone now. I'm going to come back here and put your legs off," or something like that. And of course, he just tases the guy, and they're almost ready to about kill him. Hit girl shows up, though, with a stick and a knife, and she, stabs some guys. Hit girl has some badass moments in this movie. She stabs the bag, stabs him, the bad guy about to kill him. She, you know, killing some guys. And there's this, woman there. She stabs her too. She's part of the bad guys gang. And the bodyguard's about to shoot her in the head, but her big guy says, "Honey, we gotta watch out where we're going." Okay. And her kid gets in at the door. She jumps to the next building like a badass, but he's a wimp, so he doesn't do it. Yeah. And eventually he's upset because he's like, kick, that Big Daddy and Hit Girl are better than him. They follow him though; they're able to track him down, but they help him out with him. Like, of course, he's an idiot, and he police can track him down easily. That's how pathetic his character. But they want to work together, so they want to keep in contact. Why they want to work with him, I don't believe for me. But Frank DeMarco believes that he wants to eliminate him. So basically, Chris suggests becoming a superhero himself, so he becomes, of course, the character Red Mist. Even has his own car and contacts Kick-Ass, and he tells Dave goes to as Kick-Ass goes to Katie's, and she beats him up. He's like, "I'm kidding. Well, you might as well go at the door." And they basically just make out, and a few times where they're making out more. And again, like this romance, I'm not buying their chemistry. It just really feels forced. Oh well, we need to throw a love story in there. A love story that doesn't make no sense. At least in Deadpool 1 and 2, Monica Bellucci is more sexier, by the way. I can't say her name right, but the woman from Gotham. If you've seen, Lee Tompkins, if you've seen the Deadpool movies, you know the character I'm talking about. Yeah, her in Deadpool. Deadpool was a much better character because Deadpool is a badass, a merc with a mouth, and he's funny. Yeah, he's funny when he narrates too. Deadpool is a much better character than Kick-Ass because he can cut off his own finger, hands, or shoot some bad guy with bullets, or stab, and be funny at the same time doing it. And I hate to say it, but Deadpool 1 and 2, they have more better soundtracks than this movie. Yeah, they put some songs in this movie. One song I think works for me, the others don't. You know, but Red Mist, him and Kiss, and they said we need to work together. Like, you can be I'll be your sidekick. And he takes them in the car and they dance this song like, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. They start dancing. They show up to the house, go fight some crime, to do whatever. The warehouse is burned down though because Big Daddy, they took a camera on the. Well, anyway, Big Daddy's history, Nicolas Cage, I forget the name of his character because the character is underused in this movie, in my opinion. That he was a cop and he got set up by Frank DeMarco and got sent to jail. His wife killed herself and he blamed, and eventually he had his child that was Clovis Moritz, and he's been planning revenge ever since. See, this is more interesting. The movie nods at that, but the whole movie just focuses on the character of Kick-Ass himself. You know, but Big Daddy's responsible. He just stabs some guy's stuff in the baddest moment. This is what this whole movie should have been up. Big Daddy and Hit Girl. That's what it should have been called. Misleading title for a film. Yeah, Damien. Okay. Yeah, but they show it and they come up with a plan. He tells his dad that he tells Armstrong that Kick-Ass did mention there are other superheroes. Maybe he can help us find this guy. Dave checks his MySpace accounts. He get Red Mist request that they meet, and he says they're threatening to kill me, dude. You know, and this is freaking serious. And they go to meet Big Daddy and stuff. They arrive there at the safe house, and he's like, hey girl's like, Big Daddy's like, hey girl, where are your manners? And he shoots that girl, and the bad guys come in, they knock them out, they take them. Red Mist doesn't want Kick-Ass to be involved in this, but they kidnap him too, since he wants to use him as an example. Boss Leave and Big Daddy focus them on. They get them on TV. They beat him up on TV, and he's like, oh, freaking out. And again, Kick-Ass is away from here. He bleeds easily and he gets beaten up. Feel bad for Big Daddy. And he gets burned down. But Hit Girl comes, and she has some badass moments. Like I said, usually good with the flickering flashlights on it and shoots the bad guys down. She's like, my name's shows over motherfucker. Pow. You know that was a badass moment. And of course, Nicolas Cage dies, which is unbelievable. I hate that they kill him off in this movie. He did have a nice tender moment, which I thought was sad. And like, uh, she's like, they're gonna leave, but they said that they can go get revenge on Mark Strong and his men. So that's what they tend to do. She's like, pick your weapon. Learn how to use this gun. And girl goes over to school. I was a cool girl. He's ready to get Jason Fleming. He's like, little girl, you need help? Oh, that's my mommy and daddy. Would you like some help or candy? He's like, yeah. And she puts a gun in his mouth, shoots the bad guys, shoots Jason Fleming again. And it's a badass moment where she fights the bad guys, stabs some guys. You got, I don't give a damn about a bad reputation. You know, I'm gonna do what I want to do. You know, don't give a damn about my bad reputation. That was a badass moment. Kind of like a Deadpool moment for her, but that was a cool moment. Uh, this one guy says, she's back there, she's on the counter. Then she tries to machine gun her, kind of like when they were shooting Stanley against in the mask through the counter table. And then he puts the mask on, but instead, she uses the knives and just it has a rope, grabs the knives, and stabs the guy with the blades. And his Big Joe, his bodyguard, I think that's his name, tries to get Bazooka and say hello to my little friend. Instead, then you have because Matthew Vaughn gets the rest. I thought this was badass for him to come in through the rocket launcher or jetpack, which and then you have an Elvis song playing, and then he shoots them down. I'm sorry that wasn't bad. It's like, nah, no, that fucker. I'm like, that was lame. And again, it's like a rated R version. It's like he's the Rocketeer or something, or Iron Man in a way. I'm like, Iron Man can do it better. Yeah, Iron Man might not have blood in it, but at least he could take out guys like that without even having to shoot one of his flashes out of his hands. Out of it, could just do it with weapons that has on sides, or a missile when he shoots a missile, a fucking missile out of his hand with his equipment on, with his suit on when he shoots the missile and walks away like a badass. Yeah, and then Kick-Ass comes and says, "You okay?" And then him and Hit Girl, Kick-Ass has a fight with the Red Mist with Chris. They fight a little bit, whatever. Mark Strong, does a pretty good kick. He like, because he practices karate, so he knows a bit of martial arts. He fights her a bit. He's like, "You fuck my business, watch her up," and he's still close to shooting her. And he's like, and Katie's like, pick up somebody else. He shoots him with a missile, kills him. Red Mist is trying to fight, but they fly away. He, Rocket tears them out of there, and they introduce themselves, take their mask off. Says they retired from firefighting, but Damien's ex-partner, Marcus Williams, he enrolls her at Dave's school. He adopts Mindy, a hit girl, and she explains that she doesn't need to, need to do that. He doesn't need to protect her or anything. He can't really go to pick on her lunch money now. He's like, hey, and she gives him a beating. They never miss taking over his father's business. Dons a new mask and declares war on the new hero population now, according to Joker. Yeah, I'm talking about Jack. As a great man once said, "Where do they get a load of me?" I'm like, yeah, dude, you're not Jack Nicholson. Shut up. I don't know. Jack Nicholson only can do that line perfectly. You can't. But anyway, that's kick ass. So again, give the reasons why I don't like this film. Why I don't. Anyway, sum it up. My opinion of this movie. I hated kick ass. This film sucks. Yeah, I'm not going to about it. I'm not keeping this film anyway. The reason I hate this movie is because I think it's boring. I think the story was lame. Yeah. Oh, you say, well, Leva, shouldn't you be happy it's rated R? Yeah. I mean, I can see from, but again, I've seen better rated R superhero movies, comic book films. Punisher 1989 with Dolph Lundgren is better. My problem with the movie isn't just the story. The story is basically about Kick-Ass, about Dave himself. Aaron Johnson, he sucks in this film. He does a terrible job, in my opinion. He's awful. He gets stabbed, or he's basically beaten up all the time. He's a wimp. He's a sissy for a character. You throw a romance in here, which I don't buy that him and Katie are in love. It's really was forced. And Nicolas Cage is underused. He gets killed off. Mark Strong does fine. Um, Despite Christopher Nolan's plays as Red Mist, Chris, he does alright in this film. I hated his line at the end when he copies Jack Nicholson though. It Girl was cool. She was the coolest character in this movie. I think she's my favorite character in the film. She has some badass moment. This movie just should have been a big. This movie should have been Big Daddy and Hit Girl. That's what they should have called the movie. If it was this movie, with the more of his background, if they played more of that, we do get the history of his background, but just in comic style. If we would have gotten a full film about just these two right here, this movie would have worked a lot better, in my opinion. It would have been so much better. And yeah, Punisher, the Punisher 2004 with Thomas Jane is much better. Uh, what did I come about movies? Deadpool 1 and 2. And I'm sure Deadpool 1 and Wolverine are better. It might have some issues, but at least it's better because number one, I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and Ryan Reynolds is great. Because you know, these two characters work because you have two great actors playing them. Yeah, honestly, much better. Logan is a better rated R movie. Yeah, it's more of a serious film, but it's better. Not perfect, but guess what? Hugh Jackman is great. But maybe those rated R movies great in my opinion, except Punisher Warzone. I hate that movie. And maybe Ray Stevenson rest in peace, but I still don't like that movie. I hate Punisher Warzone. It's one of the worst comic book films I've ever seen in my life, in my opinion. But despite that, but the movies I mentioned are better rated R comic book movies. Yeah, Watchmen. Oh yeah, Fever Vendetta, Watchmen. Those are better movies. Watchmen's longer, but Watchmen has better actors in it. Yeah, and the love story there works. Yeah, with Silk and Night Owl. The love story works. And Rorschach is more of a badass character than Kick-Ass. Yeah, he was a badass character. I say that he died in that movie too. I hate when they kill off great characters in movies, but that's just me. But yeah, Watchmen is longer than this, and that's a better movie because it has more of an interesting story. So Kick-Ass is the narrator. He's basically the movie. It's his movie. He's the lead, of course, with the title. But again, I should get my ass kicked, because he's the lamest character ever. He's the worst superhero I've ever, one of the worst superheroes ever I've seen on screen. Like with Steel, with Shaquille O'Neal, who gets his ass kicked, handed to, and I'm like, or Christian Bale's Batman, who even gets his ass kicked at the time. I hate seeing, like in Dark Knight Rises, I hate that would come out back in 2012, almost a year later after this. Yeah, why do you have to turn badass characters to kick ass? I don't care if he's a Marvel character or not. He's still a lame ass character. But I will give this to Aaron Johnson at least. Craven the Hunter, I'm sure that's a piece of shit. I'm sure I'll hate that movie even worse. But yeah, I do look at like it. Beautiful actors. But again, Deadpool had a better romance. Deadpool 1 and 2 did better with the love story. Yeah, did a lot better. Because for one, I cared about Ryan Reynolds. I loved his character, Wade Wilson. I loved him as Wade Wilson Deadpool, and it works. Aaron Johnson does not work as Kick-Ass. He worked as Quicksilver as a supporting character in Avengers: Age of Ultron. He was really good in that. I like the scene where he's trying to get some people out there not listening. He four Huns get a machine gun, check, get out. That was cool. And he had some cool moments of fighting the Avengers. But still, he was a good character in that movie. I hate that they killed his character off because he deserved a lot more better, especially after being in this shitty film and sadly Craven the Hunter, which I think that movie came out this month, and from what I heard, that movie sucked and it flopped. So, yeah. But again, he's such a fucking nerd. He looks like a ripoff of Andrew Garfield. Andrew Garfield's better Spider-Man because he's a bit of a wise ass. And he's a bit of. Andrew Garfield, say if he was Spider-Man, he's more of a badass as Spidey. His character, his hero is more of a badass. Yes, I say it. Yeah. But again, Mark Strong did fine. The music score, I did like, I think you're crazy. I kind of like that song. And Bad Reputation, that was good. And what I do like about the movie, though, I do like Hit Girl. Hit Girl, she has some badass moments, and so did Big Daddy. It's just that I hate that he died. What else can I say about the movie? The editing, the action scenes are fine, except with Kick-Ass, and every time I see him on screen, I'm like, oh, such a lame character. Always getting his ass kicked or stabbed. And the idea is that Matthew Vaughn and Django, man, they did not deserve. Yeah, Matthew Vaughn did a terrible job directing this movie. Nearly as sad, I don't look forward to watching. I'm gonna do a revisit review in X Men First Class, and I do not look forward to it. But it's a superhero film, and X Men is superhero, so oh boy, I got that one too. But I do enjoy the Kingsman movies, though. I do think those are a lot better. I somewhat think he did improve after these movies. Yeah, he screwed up this movie and X Men First Class, but he didn't screw up the Kingsman films. The sequel wasn't great, but I would take Kingsman Golden Circle over this any day. Julianne Moore is a better villain than Mark Strong in this movie. Mark Strong, I think, does a fine job. Has his moments, but still, it's forgettable. And that's what this movie is. It's forgettable. It's a kick in your ass, basically. This is what this movie is. It should have been a Big Daddy and Hit Girl movie, and that's why it fails. Yeah, when it's 30, or I guess it 20, 30, I guess that's a rumor. It does look like a movie that was made for $30 million over to me, but $96.2 million, what, please? This because you had Iron Man and the Dark Knight came out years before, so of course this movie was going to happen because Iron Man and the Dark Knight, those were big, huge hit movies when they came out, and Marvel MCU was starting at this time, so and the Dark Knight 2008 was starring Christian Bale, Heath Ledger. That movie made Christopher Nolan Dark Knight. That made so much money that they, I guess, opened the door for comic book movies characters come to life. So that's probably why they chose Kick Ass. And you chose the wrong guy to do it, and that was Matthew Vaughn, who did a terrible job directing. But this film, I hate this movie. Screw this movie. I never want to watch it again. I don't look forward to the sequel. Never seen it. It was in theaters, and I didn't really have interest in seeing it, so I'm glad I didn't. But anyway, I'm gonna give Kick Ass. My rating for this film is 1 out of 5 stars. Because Mark Strong, I don't mind him. I kind of don't mind Christopher Mintz Place. Can't say his name right, but I do like Big Daddy and Hit Girl, and their scenes are cool. This should have been their movie, in my opinion. If it was their movie, it would have been a lot better, in my personal opinion. It would have been a better movie because they're both badass characters, and that's what you need. For a regular comic book character, for a regular movie, a comic book film that's regular, you need great characters. It can't just be regular blood and gore. You need a good story and you need good characters, and this film doesn't have that. You don't have a good, especially a lead. You have a terrible lead. That's just his movie, and it just ruins the film for me. And that's what makes it terrible. So 1 out of 5 stars for this movie, and a thumbs down for Kick-Ass. So yeah, tell me in the comments down below. What do you think of Kick-Ass starring directed by Matthew Vaughn and starring Aaron Johnson, Christopher Mintz plays Mark Strong, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Nicolas Cage? What do you think of this movie? In your personal opinion, guys, do you like it or do you hate it? All right, so stay tuned. I believe next is a revisit review. Oh, guys, I should tell you, I did put on my new channel here, my new channel here, which, by the way, just to keep on reminding you, might as well. It's the 108 subs. 108 subs, guys. Thank you. Keep on subscribing and sharing my channel. Appreciate it. Yeah. Remember, subscribe to this channel. Now, you can watch videos on my other channel, but don't subscribe to there. I did add a new playlist on my channel. I did add DCU reviews. So that includes the Batman 1940 serials that I reviewed on my other channel, the George Reeves Superman films, the Batman the movie from 1960s, the Adam West Batman movie based on the show, and Mr. Reeves Superman movie, Swamp Thing, Supergirl, the Tim Burton Batman's movies, the anime Batman films, and Batman Forever, and some a little bit in Superman, some yeah. So yeah, but anyway, back to the Meet Mall review, and this is like I said, this is a revisit review, and I can't wait to review this movie. Really a good sequel, in my opinion. Can't wait to do a revisit review on this, and that is, of course, Iron Man 2, which I'm sure is better than this Kick-Ass, in my opinion. I saw this in theater. What a fun blast it was. But anyway, I'm going to save my opinion for that. So, guys, hope you look forward to my revisit review for Iron Man 2. This is the third MCU movie starring Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Don Cheadle, Scarlett Johansson, Mickey Rourke, and of course, once again, directed by Jon Favreau. Yeah, but yeah, Iron Man 2, the third MCU film. This is next. So stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think of Kick-Ass down below in your opinion. What do you think of this movie in your opinion? And if you disagree with me, you like the film too, you know, let people are fans. I'm sure this movie has its fans. I'm not one of them. I'd rather just watch Deadpool and Wolverine, two Deadpool movies, or V for Vendetta, or Watchmen, or the two Deadpool movies, and the two Punisher films starring Dolph Lundgren and Thomas Jane. To me, those are better movies. That's just my opinion, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. So glad to be back here on YouTube. And cheers. We're almost to a new year. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.